Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Aidit Sabri bin Muhammad Azamuddin and I am from class 1F. So today we would like to present to Madam about our Alice project that we call Hansel and Gretel story. Okay, for my part, I am taking scene 1 until scene 3. Okay, there are three characters in this scene, which are Hansel and Gretel, a rabbit, and the witch. Okay, for the Hansel and Gretel, there are two siblings that went to the forest to find some firewoods. And a rabbit that comes from nowhere in the forest that suddenly disappeared. And for the witch, that disguised as an old lady who wanted to eat Hansel and Gretel. Okay, the characters from biped class that I use is Hansel and Gretel and the old lady, which is the witch. And character from quadruped class is a rabbit. Okay, we proceed to the next one. Okay, the setup in scene 1, I chose scene grass for scene 1 because I want the outdoor environment where Hansel and Gretel were talking outside the house. Okay, so I designed the outdoor environment with the savanna grass, hibiscus tree, acacia tree, Nordic house, and also Japanese maple tree. So I assume it will look like there is a house surrounded by the thick forest. Okay. For input in scene 1, there is no input in scene 1, and the process involved in scene 1 is I am using function from the characters to move Hansel's head to the right when facing Gretel. The example of function that I use is get head. The next one is I am using count loop to make Hansel and Gretel walk together. And the example of function that I use is get right shoulder, get left shoulder, get right hip, get left hip, get right knee, and get left knee. Okay. The output for scene 1, Hansel turn to face Gretel by using function get head, like I said before. And then Hansel say, "Hey, let's go to the forest." And Gretel replied, for what, brother? And Hansel say, "I think I want to find some firewoods." And Gretel replied, "Oh, I want to follow you find the firewoods too." And then Hansel say, "Okay then, let's go, Gretel." Okay, so after that, Hansel and Gretel walks together to the forest using function get right shoulder, get left shoulder, get right hip, get right knee, and get left knee. So it's the end of scene 1. We proceed to scene 2. The setup for scene 2 is I chose scene grass in scene 2 because this is where Hansel and Gretel met the rabbit and plan to follow it. So I designed the outdoor same as scene 1 environment with the savanna grass, hibiscus tree, acacia tree, Nordic house, conifer tree, and also Japanese maple tree. In this scene, I also put the old lady's house with the old lady, which is the witch, outside that waiting for her victims, which are Hansel and Gretel. Okay, so the process involved in scene 2, I am using function from the characters. I using count loop to make Hansel and Gretel walk together. The example of function that I use to make Hansel and Gretel walks is get right shoulder, get right hip, get right knee, get left shoulder, get left hip, and get left knee. And then user needs to enter number 1 or number 2 for responding to Hansel that wanted to follow the rabbit. Okay, so the output for scene 2, Hansel and Gretel walked together in the forest using function, uh, using the walking function that I mentioned before, which are get right shoulder, get left shoulder, get right hip, get left hip, get right knee, get left knee. And then Gretel think, wait, is that a bunny? And then Gretel say, look brother, there's bunny over there. And then Hansel say, let's follow the bunny, Gretel. Gretel think, should I follow or not? And then user needs to press 1 for yes or press 2 for no. Uh, and then Gretel say, brother, I smell something nice. Hansel say, look, I think the smell came from that house, which is the old lady house. And then Hansel say, let's go to the house. After that, Hansel and Gretel walk together towards the old lady's house using function that I mentioned before. Get right shoulder, get left shoulder, get right hip, get right knee, and get left knee. Okay, we proceed to scene 3. Okay, the setup for scene 3, I chose scene grass in scene 3 because this is where Hansel and Gretel met the old lady and started became her victims. So I designed the outdoor same as scene 1 and scene 2 environment with the savanna grass, hibiscus tree, acacia tree, Nordic house, conifer tree, and also Japanese maple tree. In this scene, I also put the old lady's house with the old lady outside waiting for her victims, which are Hansel and Gretel. Okay. For input in scene 3, I am using selection to get answer from the user for the old lady question, which is what is the answer for 6 multiplied by 5 and subtract to 10. So the answer will be 20, right? And if user enter the wrong answer, I am using while loop to ask repeatedly until the user enter the right answer. Okay, so the process involved in scene 3, user needs to answer the question correctly using selection. If user enter answer equal to 20, the old lady will say, "Oh, clever! You may come inside." And if user enter answer other than 20, the old lady will say, "Oh no, the answer is wrong. Try again." And after that, the while loop will start. User needs to answer the question again until user enter the right answer using while loop. For this, if user enter the right answer, the old lady will say, "Finally, your answer is right. You may come inside." But if wrong, the old lady will say, "Oh no, the answer is wrong. Try again." And it will repeat until the user enter the correct answer, which is 20. Okay, the output for scene 3. Hansel and Gretel walk together to the old lady's house using function get right shoulder, get left shoulder, get right hip, get right knee, and get left knee. And then the old lady think, looks like my victim has come in. Then the old lady say, hello there, what is your name? Hansel and Gretel will say their name respectively. And then the old lady say, oh, I see, nice to meet you guys. And then the old lady asked them if they want to go inside her house to enjoy some food, and they will say yes. But the old lady give one condition to them, which is they have to answer the question correctly. User needs to answer the question correctly through selection. If user enter wrong answer, the question will pop up again repeatedly until the user enter correct answer, which is 20. After that, Hansel and Gretel will say yay while jumping 2 times using count loop. Okay, I think that's all from me, and we will proceed to the next person for scene 4 until scene 7. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Dewi Cassandra Putri binti Abdul Rahman. Today I want to present our story, which is Hansel and Gretel. I chose scene 4 to 6. Characters in this scene is Hansel and Gretel was eating the delicious food in the dining room, which given by the old lady, while the old lady has a bad intention towards them. The old lady asked them to look the bedroom for take a rest. Hansel agreed with the old lady. The old lady gives options to choose either the bed or chair. Hansel and Gretel make their decision to choose either the bed or chair. My characters from bed class, which is Hansel and Gretel and the older woman. Scene 4, I choose this dining room. It is because I want to make a scene where Hansel and Gretel was enjoyed eat the delicious food. I designed this dining room with the chair, fridge, dining table, gas stove, and some food for Hansel and Gretel. While Hansel and Gretel was eating, the old woman has a bad intention to the two siblings. Um, for the input, I input the input value to make the old woman says welcome. The process involved after Hansel and Gretel say thank you, the user must input the value to the old woman to say welcome. After the old woman says welcome to Hansel and Gretel, they both were going to sit on the chair to enjoy their food. I'm using function from the characters to make Hansel and Gretel sitting. Examples of function I use is get me and get him. So this is function for the siblings sit on the chair. My output my output in scene 4 is Hansel and Gretel in the old woman's dining room for having some food. Hansel and Gretel look at the dining table and say the food looks delicious. They two siblings say thank you to the old woman for give them some delicious food. The old woman replied, welcome. Then Hansel and Gretel sit down on the chair and Hansel says, let's eat now, Gratel. The old woman turned her face to the opposite toward the siblings, and she thinks, I will eat them after this. The old woman has a bad intention towards Hansel and Gretel. Then, scene 5. I chose this dining room because I want to make a scene where the old woman asks the two siblings to see her room for take a rest. Hansel tell the old woman that he want to see the room. I designed this scene with dining room environment because Hansel and Gretel was finished their food. Process involved. Hansel want to make sure they Hansel want to make sure and says, are you sure, brother? Hansel reply with nodded, using function from the characters. To make Hansel nodded, examples of function I use is getnet. Besides, I use count loop for Hansel to nod it for 2 times. My output in scene 5 is the old woman looks at Hansel's face and asks, would you like to see my bedroom? You can rest there. Hansel replied, yes, of course I do. He replied happily. After that, his sister Gratel turned to Hansel's face and asked, are you sure, brother? Hansel nodded for 2 times. It signs that he agrees. Again and again, the old woman turned her face opposite toward the siblings and think, and then I will eat them after this. Ha ha ha. Hansel, Gretel, and the old woman disappear from the scene. Then in this scene 6, I chose bedroom in my scene. It is because I want to make bedroom environment with furniture at surroundings. I design with queen bed, the sofa, study table, chair, bookcase. It makes a complete environment bedroom. Besides, I choose bedroom because I want to make Hansel and Gretel rest in there. My input in this scene is I put the Atmos click on object listener for Hansel to choose either the pet or the chair. My output in scene 6 is Hansel, Gretel, and the old woman in the bedroom. Then, then the old woman tells the Hansel, "You can choose either the bed or chair." Then, not longer than that, she says, "Have a nice rest." The old woman get up from the bedroom and left the two siblings. Hansel says, "Which one I should choose to take a rest?" If the user clicked on the bed, Hansel was going to the bed and Gretel was going to the chair then. If the user clicked on the chair, Hansel was going to the chair and Gretel was going to the bed then. And lastly, Hansel and Gretel say, "Let's rest now." Lastly, I want to say thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, my name is Ainul Mardia and I'm going to present Hansel and Gretel story start from scene 7 until scene 10. So first I'm going to introduce the character for the scene. So first is Hansel and Gretel. So this is Hansel and this is Gretel. So the second is the mother and the father. Here the mother and here the father. And then the older woman and the older man. Here the older woman and here is older man. And then the last is the old lady. So this is the old lady. And now I'm going to explain the character for the scene. Hansel and Gretel are two siblings that got tricked or trapped by the old lady that turned out to be a monster. And then the old lady is the one who tricked Hansel and Gretel by saying that she have food inside her house, but actually she wants to eat them. And then we move to the older man and the older woman. So they the one who helped Hansel and Gretel got back to their home. And then the father and mother. So this character is from the last scene at the scene 10 where they are Hansel and Gretel's parents. So now I'm going to explain scene 7. So for the scene 7, I choose a place in room. So this scene is actually called room at first, and then I changed the environment to the living room because this is where the Hansel, Gretel, and the old lady meet. Where the Hansel and Gretel found out that the old lady is actually the monster. So I designed the living room with the sofa. So here the sofa, the fireplace, grandfather clock, coffee table, dresser, garden neem. So here daffodil vase, here the daffodil vase, and orchid, and the quadrant. And I'm going to explain why the quadrant at the living room. So for the quadrant, I put it at the living room because I want to make the scene where the old lady is preparing to eat the Hansel and Gretel. So this quadrant is important for this scene. So now I'm going to explain what happened in the scene 7. So after Hansel and Gretel knew that they going to be eaten by the old lady, and then the old lady also noticed them. So the scene is where the Hansel and Gretel need to run away from the old lady. So how they want to run away from the old lady. So here I make an event, and the event is keyboard event. So I'm putting in add key press listener to make Hansel and Gretel run from the old lady. So how the process is? So first, this Hansel will prompt the user by saying press key up to make us run. So here the process. After Hansel says run, Gretel run at Gretel, so user have to press the arrow up button on the keyboard that by the Hansel prompting the user. So what happened after user press the arrow up button is they will turn and run from the old lady. So okay, here have a picture of the quadrant. So why the quadrant pictures here? Because I want to tell that I'm using while loop here to make the spoon turn around the quadrant and then slowly disappear. The spoon is slowly disappear while moving around the quadrant. And then we're going to move what the output for the scene 7. So the output is the old lady says, okay, the dialogues here, and the spoon in the quadrant will move around like what I said. The quadrant we use move around the quadrant we using while loop, and then the spoon will slowly disappear in the quadrant. So after the spoon disappear, Hansel and Gretel here where they notice that they will get eat by the old lady, by the monster. So after that, the old lady noticed Hansel and Gretel at the back, and then she turned around and get bigger. So that's how the old lady become a monster. And then the old lady say that that she is going to eat them. And then Hansel say, "Run, Gretel, run!" And here where the event where the user need to press the arrow up to make the Hansel and Gretel run out from the scene. And then we're going to move to the scene 8. So in the scene 8, for the scene 8, I choose a place that named Grass. So at first the place is called Grass. So why I choose the Grass? Because this is where the scene where Hansel and Gretel run out from the house. Of course, if we run out from the house, so here because they are in the forest, so this is for the scene 8. So then I designed the forest with a lot of tree. Actually, there's a lot of tree behind the house and stones, some stone also, and then the grass, of course the old lady house. And then also the scene I put castle gate. Here the castle gate. Because I put castle gate because I want to show that Hansel and Gretel will stop in front this gate, and because they cannot open the gate. And why? We're going to know later. So here the reason why Hansel and Gretel stop in front of the gate. So this scene where the user have to press the key to open the gate. So here I am putting in add key press listener to open the gate for Hansel and Gretel so they can run away. So how is the process? So the user will get prompt by this character, which is Gratel. She said press key A to open the gate. So when user press the key A button on the keyboard, these two gate will open like this. And then after that, these two characters will run out through the gate. So here is the after the user press the key A. So after they got here, the Hansel here will also prompt the user but to close the gate. So how? So user will have to press the key D on keyboard, and then the gate will close like this. And then to make them run, I'm not using just move forward, but I use some function to make their leg move. For example, get left knee, get left right. So also the shoulder and also like they move their hand. So to make Hansel and Gretel run more alive. So okay, and then I using count loop. So what count loop do to Hansel and Gretel? So they have to run 3 times actually. So it's hard to make the code repeatedly because it's going to be long code. So to short it, I'm using count loop. Count up to 3. So and then the Hansel and Gretel will run with the count loop 3 times. So that's how it is. And then we're going to see the output for scene A. Hansel and Gretel run out from the house, and together say, "Somebody help! Somebody help!" After that, Hansel and Gretel have to stop in front of the big gate like the picture that I showed before, and the gate is closed. So here where the user have to help Hansel and Gretel, where they have to press key A, and then the gate will open, and then they will run through the gate, and then the Hansel will say press key D to close the gate. So and then after they succeed to run away from the old lady, they will say, "We did it here." Now we're going to move scene 9 and 10. Okay, so for scene 9 and 10, the place is same at the Grace place, like scene 8 also. So this is the same place. Also the same design, the tree, stones, so it's all the same. Also the grass, except for C9, they don't have a house because that the old lady house. So here don't have old lady house because this is C9. And then so this is the design, just the same. The tree, the big tree, the stone, and then the grass, the long grass, and then this is for scene 10. So in this scene 10, where there's have a house. This house belongs to Hansel and Gretel's house. So this is where all the men and all the women bring them back home. So after after that, this is also where they met their mother. So the output for scene 9 and 10. So the old woman and old man met Hansel and Gretel where they were running toward them. So for scene 10, actually the Hansel and Gretel is run toward the old woman and older woman and the older man because they found them at the forest and then they asked for help. So here Hansel said the dialogue where the monster that he said the monster wants to eat them. So the old woman, of course, and the older man didn't believe them and said there is no such thing like monster exists. And then after that, they offer Hansel and Gretel to bring them back home. So that's how we got to scene 10. So this is start from here is scene 10. So in front and then this is actually so they are already in front of the uh, Hansel and Gretel place house. So in front of Hansel and Gretel's house, both say, so the Hansel and Gretel say to the old lady and the older woman and the older man that's their house. So after they say the dialogue and immediately the mother come out from the house and then she moved toward the older man, the older woman, to say thank you for bringing them back home. And then, and then after talk, the older man and older woman walk out from the scene. And then after that turns the father to come out from the house. After the father come out from the house, he asked Hansel and Gretel what happened to them. And then Hansel and Gretel explained what happened to them, how they found the old lady, and then the old lady become a monster. But it turned out their parents also didn't believe them and said they just imagined things because since they were children. And then what happened at the last scene is Hansel and Gretel also believe that they imagine. Uh, um, it means that everything that they experience is just their own imagination. So that is the last scene for this story. Thank you.